Oh, I beg your pardon. No excuses. Beg your pardon, guys.
There you
Okay.
go. Welcome.
Right. Thanks very much.
Your host.
Okay.
Great.
How's
Oh,
it, Chris? My hard-working friend.
Morning, Roger. In the
Yeah, how's it?
office today, thank goodness.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I say yesterday. God, bloody hours you guys put in. Made me feel quite
18-hour
ragged just
days.
listening to it. Yeah, I was exhausted. I went to bed 2 hours early on hearing that. I was so exhausted. uh, Good morning, guys. Okay, sorry, I say no excuses. My sister's down here. I'm staying just outside Margate in the Vongo, and just come down for the week just to say hi and the rest of it. And I was sitting out on the balcony, very nice little view, chit-chatting about nothing at all, really. And then so we looked at the time. Oh my goodness! So I do beg your pardon. No excuses. Anyway, morning all. Okay, right. It's just coming up to our best just there now, so we can get started. Okay, right. I'm just changing over to the share the screen. Right. I hope you all see the screen now. Just lower that down so I can see what's going on with the dollar. Okay, that's it. That's fine. Okay, you should be able to see the screen now. Don't forget, all the people. I think there's one person there, name I'm not sure I recognize. But anyway, I think otherwise everyone knows it's a forum. It's not a class like a Forex class. It's a forum where we interact, we chit chat. It's ongoing, where we can all learn. We always will. I don't care if you're doing it 5 years or 10 years. You always can pick up something. Chris, Brian, Pietro, I don't know, whoever might pick up something. Edwin, Marcus, whoever picks up something. Oh, I didn't see that. Thanks very much. So it's communal benefits, not just one sort of lecturing to another. Just want to make sure you understand that. And you could always unmute and chit chat with pleasure, as long as it's to do with obviously the trading. And if you're not, please keep it muted unless you're all alone. You don't want to hear sort of noises and arguments in the background which interferes with the trade room. But it's just, I know you don't do it on purpose. Sometimes forget the things on. I've done it myself, but try and remember to keep it muted unless you're interacting or on your own. It doesn't matter. Okay, it does help. Now, right, we'll start at the end. Remind me to come back to this one. There's a possibility, maybe, if not today, tomorrow, maybe Monday, I think we might get some upside on this one. Remind me to come back to it. Start off with the yen. I said there's no such thing as a guarantee in this business. None at all. I took it the fact that we had that seal of intervention. The risk was at 150.80 as a stop loss. Don't everyone, I think one or two did. I certainly did. And I thought there's a high probability they wouldn't intervene again. Well, it looks like they haven't. The only trouble not having intervened again, because the yen's so much weaker, they probably will encourage people to say, let go, we'll go back trading the yen again and selling it, not buying it, obviously, will weaken it further. So I'm still scared they might change their mind and suddenly, without warning, intervene again. So that hasn't made my mind any happier. I wish they had done, not just to make a big profit, not just for myself, you guys who took it, but then, we can start bidding it up and trading the yen again. As it is the moment, I'm very nervous to trade the end because they could anytime change their mind these levels, especially starts marching up to 151 and above. They're very likely to say they've got no choice and spend another large fortune on bloody defending the yen again. So it's an issue. But that being as it may, I hope anyone took the trade, obviously wasn't sent out, understood there always is a risk. And in this case, they didn't intervene. So it's hit the stop at 150.80. Okay, just bear that in mind. 50 no, Chris, I'll come to that in a minute. The NAS, no. We'll look in a minute. 15 minutes, sorry, beg your pardon. You want to look at the 15-minute? Yeah. Oh, hang on. What happened there? That's a small
That's
intervention.
what I noticed, Roger.
Oh, bloody hell. Thank you. I didn't notice that. I haven't looked at the 15-minute. I beg your pardon.
80 pips.
Well spotted. That's a classic example I talked about 2 minutes ago. We need each other. I hadn't spotted that. I hadn't looked at the 15-minute, and now I see it. Now that's not it. That's an intervention of peanuts amount. What's it come down from?
80 pips.
80
90.
pips. Okay, well, that's no good. I've stopped out because of the spread. I had my stop at 80, and because the spread's about 5 or 6 pips, obviously I've stopped out on the spread. So just on that, and it came down, but then it popped right up again. That's wasting their money. I don't know. They probably know more than I do. They're banked, for Christ's sake. But for goodness sake, excuse me. But that's no good. If it do a sort of a peanut intervention, all it does is jump it down, and then of course the buyers are going to come in. I think they're bluffing again. So I think that was a waste of their money, because that's just not good enough to do that. They need to do it properly. Okay, fair enough then. But as you can see, when it does that, it's a good chance to buy, because it still goes back a week till it hits the ceiling again. If it continues March, you'll have to do it again, but properly next time. Be very aware of it. Thank you, by the way, for drawing my attention to it. Yeah. Okay, good point. I wonder why I want to look at the 50 minutes. What's that going to tell you? Now I understand exactly where you're coming from. Okay, so don't get cute with this. Sorry if you took it and you got a bit of a knock, but at least you understood why. So that's the main thing. When it happens where you take a knock and you ask why, and my answer is I haven't the slightest idea. What I learned by absolutely nothing. Those kind of scenarios will always happen, but those are more emotional scenarios, and that just happens. It's like it's not your fault when somebody goes to a red robot and smacks into your car, but the car has been smacked into. You know what I mean? In this case, I'll be very wary of playing around with the yen. I'm nervous these levels. Simple as that. If it's down about 149 or something, then I'd look at buying, selling the yen again. But I'm a little bit nervous of, buying. Yeah, selling the yen again. But I'm very nervous of selling the yen at these sort of levels. Okay. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah. Right. Some guys were sent out. I know a Nasdaq trader for expecting a bit of a bounce. I certainly not going to put on my QT one. I'm not that sure about that at all. That's not my choice in the matter. It's clearly down. It had a bit of support. Look at the weekly, a little bit of support around this level, but the momentum's still down. There's no confirmation bust a jump up. I've mentioned yesterday and a couple of days going on the weekly now. I'm bearish at the moment. I'll go into more detail why, but at the moment I'm bearish on the overall markets, and I'd rather sell the rally. I think it's a bit preemptive with a tight stop and to try and expectation of bounce without a confirmation. But they sent it out. It was requested. So if they want to do it, they want to do it. But I would, at the moment, leave the NAS alone. I've already hit my TP on the one I did. It wasn't a signal, hey, Chris. It wasn't a signal, no, something I did. Entering it again. It's a bit low now. It could further come down, but it could jump before it happens. I'm worried it might get a bit of a jump from a profit-taking bounce, but I don't know the extent of it, so I'm not going to buy it for that profit-taking. I'd rather see if we do get it and then sell it down again. So the moment I'm staying on the sidelines, I suggest you do the same. But if you know what you do and you have your own trading style, far from me to interfere with that. If it works for you, you stick with it. Okay.
Yeah. Roger.
Yeah.
So if you scroll on the 4 hour, can you please scroll down to the 4 hour? Because on the daily, we have a strong bearish momentum there on the candlestick.
Yeah.
So on the 4 hour, we can see the current candlestick, it still has a big momentum there. So we might see it going down from 3:30 and so on. We might have a little retest there, here and there, but in the long run, we are bearish. We will sell.
I'm saying that. If you're saying that, I agree with you. Yeah, Prince, I agree. If that's what you're saying, I agree with you. Yeah. Right. We'll come to a couple of things. First of all, we've got 3 fundies coming out at 2:30 today. GDP, which is important. Weekly jobless claims important, and what the other one? Sorry, what's it again? It's durable goods, I think. Whereas, yeah, durable goods. So 3 coming at 2:30 on the US. So that's another one to be very careful of. And number 4, we come to the fundamental background now. Canada is being propped up by oil at the moment. They have been doing like most of the Western countries. They've gone woke. You know, they're all saying, go woke, go broke. And unfortunately, when you go woke, everyone wants to bunny hug. Everyone wants to help your fellow man. Everyone wants to help out. But unfortunately, it costs money. So where's that money coming from? And unfortunately, these countries don't have the money, so they're borrowing it. So I want to help you out, Prince. You got a bit of a problem. I don't have it, so I'll go and borrow it to help you out. Well, I'm still being a nice guy and helping you out, but it's not my money I'm helping you out with, if you see what I'm trying to say. And Canada is now having a lot of problems that way. It's becoming inflationary, but the growth of the economy is not there. It's because the old saying, go woke, go broke. And same with America, and it can very much so in the GB. It's nothing wrong with the people working there, nothing wrong with their skills and what they're doing, but their expenses are too high. Prince, you're doing very well. You're earning 100 grand a month. But unfortunately, you're broke because you're paying out and all your hangers on 101,000 rand a month. So you're in a very sorry position. That's basically what they're doing. And so as a result, I'm going to downgrade the Canadian now slightly lower than the heavyweight. So we got the Swiss still the strongest, then the dollar moving up and down around the Swiss, depending on the situation over there. It's more volatile, far more than the Swiss franc. But I'm starting to sort of downgrading the Canadian from the heavyweight to the sort of a light heavyweight or super middleweight, or you know what I'm trying to say. So just be a little careful of Canadian strength, despite the oil. They're relying a lot on that oil at those high prices to help their extremely expensive charitable enterprises. You know, for want of a better word, the costs, putting everyone up in I don't know, put them in hotels, but you know what I mean, it's costing them a lot of money to put in these very, very wonderful democratic principles and socialist principles, etc. But as you can see, like any communist socialist nation might have a great theory. I did read Marx, all great theory, but the problem in the practical area of the financial always come down to the money. It's impractical, and that's the problem. And you know the old joke, if you want to stop crime, nationalize it, because that will make sure it doesn't pay. It's the same old joke. Look at our nationalized companies over here, like Eskom and Transnet and what's that, Armscor and all the rest of them. No, it's not an efficient way, unfortunately. So it's not me taking a political stance here, just basically saying economic facts, actually. So yeah, just be careful of that. So yeah, bearish is the name of the game. And China's still got problems over there. They got a nice big trillion yuan loan. That's about $180 billion or something. Just do some good stuff with it. Well, spending on infrastructure, you need to have it. You've got to have maintenance. I get that. But still, it's borrowed money. They don't have it. Well, they have money, but a lot of it's borrowed money. And just remember, a lot of these things these so-called rich countries are doing is that it's not their money. It's borrowed money. And we have to realize that. He's driving a fancy car and he's got a fancy house, but he's probably broke because it's all borrowed money and it's all got to be paid back. Okay.
Sorry, Roger, can I ask quickly on the NAS, where would you put your TP? I hopped in yesterday for a short on 145.50 and I've been holding.
145.50, you bloody star. You got it 145.50. 14.550. You bloody star. Aha. Right. First of all, get your stop down to make it, what's that, 200, make it 14.350. Put your stop at 43.50. So you're going to make some money, whatever happens. Always protect the downside first, rule number one, and then look up to the upside. Don't look at the upside first, then the down. Look at the down, get that sorted, and then look to the upside. Good rule to have. So put your stop at 14.350. Now we can start looking at where we can take it to. If we can break through here, sorry, jumping around the chart again. If we can break through here, I think it's a good chance. A little bit of hurdle, maybe at a 13.9. But I think if it continues in this way, it might not go in one shot. It'll jump around, might come down, profit take a bounce up, and you know how it works. But I think down the line we could get down to this sort of level, maybe 13.5.
Yeah, I got it at 136.
136 is fine. 13.6 is perfect. 13.6 is fine. No, it's not perfect. It's good. Mine's perfect. Just being jealous. I'm only kidding. No, seriously. 13.6 is fine. Yeah, but modify stop on the way down and not too close because you don't want to get stopped out in the up and down movements and then find it reaches TP. But well done. Good stuff. That's good trading. Well bloody done. I'm impressed with that. I said before, too many guys that take their profit far too quick and they're going to win a hell of a lot to make up for the losses because they hold on the losses too long. Well bloody done. Means you're actually learning. You're serious about doing it. I'm impressed. Well done. I don't say won't at all. A lot of fundamental push it. If you want to make it 1370, you can. There's a bit of noise there, but I think eventually could. But I think it might have a few bounce before it gets there. Even to now talk of recession coming in. I mean, that's been under the radar now for a year or so since COVID. But even now, talk, it looks like recession. They got massive debt problems out there, and it's with the socialist tendencies, the way the culture's going. They're not easing back on their expenditure. If that's the point. There's nothing wrong with helping people out, but you've got to understand you've got to be able to afford it and not easing back. And that's why I have to raise the debt limit all the time, because they refuse to ease back, because that's where they get their votes from. I hate to be horribly cynical here. I don't really give a shit about you guys. They give a shit about your vote. And if they don't give you what you want, they might not get your votes. You know what I mean? So take that into account. Maybe I'm being over cynical, but probably not. Okay, we're on a week. Yeah, I had to find the TP. That's why I can't find the daily. That's the why. Yeah, but thanks anyway, just in case. Thanks. But we might get there. Good chance. Okay, but anyway, if it doesn't, and you stopped out the beautiful profit, and you're already up to 300 or 400. If you get 700 pips out of it instead of 1,000, what a pleasure. Remember, 700 pips is like about 7 or 8 or 9, depending, wins on the forex trades. What a pleasure. Well done. Okay. Yeah. So I've gone over that. I've mentioned that. Oh yeah, GBP CHF. Would love to do it. I have done it. I've already taken the profit on it. I want to do it again. Where can I get an entry? It tried to move up yesterday. I've got it up for you guys on the daily. It tried to go up yesterday, but as you can see, the sellers came in pretty quick. The problem is, as it went down, again, look at that wick. Okay, the buyers came in pretty quick. Now, this, as you know, is not quite 10 hours old, this candle. As it came off, the buyers came in. As it's gone up, you see a bit of red appearing. What is actually happening, I think, it's clearly a weak, because pound is just as bad as Canada and America, the way they've talked about it, is the fact that people understandably, like myself, are nervous of selling again at these levels, especially you've taken a couple of trades, which I've done over the last month or so, 2 or 3, in fact, where I've been profitable, and you start nervous. Am I really selling it near the bottom? I'm getting a bit nervous. There's a bit of emotion coming in. Even if you're doing as long as I have, you'll never get rid of it. And I'm just a bit nervous of selling it down those levels. And I think a lot of other people are. As a result of it, you're not getting any decent directional momentum. You know what I'm saying? So going back to the sell, for goodness sake, don't buy it. Don't even buy an expected bounce. Someone's, oh, why not bow the bounce up? We don't know, and it might not occur. Rather hope you might miss it. We do get a bounce, maybe just suddenly up to these levels here, maybe around about 1.09 mark, a little bit higher. If we can get maybe 1.09 or a little bit higher, and we start consolidating for a little move down, I think we can then start looking for a sell of those levels. But make confirmation, it might go up a bit further. That's a big profit taking bounce, etc., to sell it down again. So it's sort of hanging around hoping we're going to get an entry and hope we don't miss the damn thing. But I'm very nervous personally with selling these levels at the moment. But if you do, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just nervous about it. Hope that makes sense. Do you take my point, Gerard and guys? Yeah, good stuff. And yeah, even the news might push it up, Petre. Even if the news is vital, not because it's fake news or right or wrong or whatever. The news is vital because it's self-fulfilling, because people buy it. They buy it mentally. I'm not talking about physically buying. I mean, they're buying into it mentally. You know what I'm saying? And when if it's in your face and sold you, which they're journalists obviously trying to do. That's why they're journalists. You know, they're supposed to entertain you. Otherwise, you're going to read it. And they put it in your face. People are going to react to it. Like they'll react because it's new and different. 1,000 people killed in a train crash. But hang on, I mean, there's quite a far more of that being slave and human trafficked and all sorts of other horrible, poverty-stricken, terrible things we don't really know about. It certainly will interfere your breakfast, a nice, comfortable Western nation. You know, sit there, the TV on, and spoil your breakfast. So a lot of that stuff doesn't. But that is enormous stuff. So you know what I mean. But you don't know about it. It's not being reported. You know, so it tends to, when they get something like that up, people react because it's in your face, and all the media climb on the bandwagon. So yeah, the news has got to be read, even if it doesn't matter whether you think it's rubbish or not. It's because it will have an effect. It's a bit like the 50 and 200-day moving average. personally, I could be the 25 and 75 as far as I'm concerned. I don't really give a continental. The point why I use them because everyone else does, so it's self-fulfilling. Hope that all makes sense. Okay, AUD CAD. AUD, I'm happy with the CAD. I'm nervous on, but we'll look at it because it might be a situation we can offer something there. I did look at this morning, and I must admit I didn't really come up with it, but I'll look at it again. I'm not. Yeah, I thought it was a reason. We'd had what I think the other was a Eurocab. I don't know. Anyway, I'd be far more happy with the 100-day. It's above the 50. It hasn't broken. It tried to break. The sellers came back in again. The Canadian is actually being in my head here. S&P down. What do you call it when they come in? They're down rated. I've down rated the Canadian. I've watched them shaking their boots with Roger, trading host, down rating them. I've done a down. What's a down? Not down rate. What's I can't remember the correct expression for it. You know, when they down rate to junk. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So I've down rated the Canadian. Not that they're going to worry about me. But technically speaking, I see a vision. I agree with it. But I don't see much confirmation where the price acts at the moment, and the follow through on the move down, the breakthrough is only 30 odd pips, so it's not enough there. I agree with it, but I'd rather see maybe an open up tomorrow down here and a bit of follow through. Then you can put your stop up here and a TP down there. If it opens up tomorrow below the 50, the entire candle, including the wick, and it's start to get a bit of follow through, maybe down there, then I'd be more comfortable, personally speaking. Downgrade. Thank you, Pietro. Thank you. Bloody downgrade. That's the word. And don't call it old age, because it might be true and that'll hurt me and I'll burst into tears. And when I burst into tears is not a pretty sight. Blubbering Rog, we can't have that. No. Yeah, downgrade. Thank you. That's my opinion. As before, we want your opinions. What do you think, Pietro? You're quite a confident. Chris, you're quite confident. Marcus, Gerard, you're quite confident. Prince, Edwin, you're quite confident. A few guys there confident. What do you think? You're unmuted. Do you want to add anything to what I've just said there? Do you agree, disagree? What do you reckon? Just because I said it, we don't want to everyone miss a damn good trade just because I said that. You know? What do you think about of that? You agree, Marcus? Okay. The best way to ask it, guys, is would I do it with my money? I suggest you go and buy ABC. Before I suggest to you, I've got to say to myself, would I do it myself? That's the major thing. If I won't do it myself, it's just standards. I'm not too sure I want to expect you to do it. So you're happy with that, okay? So you're happy with the little bit. I'm free to disagree, and I can learn from it. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, that's the point. We'll talk about that. Google's hammered. Advertising revenue right down. My conclusion, what? My conclusion is leave it alone. LIA. You guys, when we say LIA, it means leave it alone. Don't Google it. Can if you want. We won't get much joy from it. It's purely a trading room expression. Came out with one of my traders a couple of years ago. He put in LIA, and I thought I quite liked it, so I stuck with it. Like the Cluck Cluck Club, CCC. Hey, Pietro, hey, I'm a member of the Cluck Cluck Club, means I'm a chicken out of doing that trade. Or a trading Rambo. He's not going to be a Cluck Cluck, he's going to be a trading Rambo. This is just sort of fun banter in the trading room. Don't try and Google it as part of the economic jargon. You'll find it doesn't exist. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes not a bad idea to be a CCC, to be honest. But so my conclusion on this one is LIA. Okay, Prince. Google's hammered, yeah, advertising revenue down. Now, confuse Meta because the advertising revenue is actually up and doing quite well. Why did it come off? They spent I think about $2.8 billion on like a virtual reality avatar where it's such an improvement that you actually think when you put those things on, it is so convincing that you actually are speaking if the person's sitting next to you. So if you're missing your wife in Durban whilst you're up in Joburg, or Cape Town whilst you're up in Joburg on business, you put that thing on. It's still in testing. It's still too expensive. It'll get there. It's as if you speak to her, she's sitting in front of you. I haven't obviously been it, but I watched a program on it, and the person interviewing was a very clever guy, and he was completely, utterly gobsmacked on it. He said, "I can't believe I'm speaking to an avatar. It looks like it was actually to Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg himself. I actually think you're sitting in front of me. I can't get my head around this. Expressions, everything is so realistic." And there's still a bit way to go. But anyway, the point I'm trying to get, it cost them about 2.8, something like that, $1 billion in research. It hadn't showed anything yet. Still a bit way to go. And that had a bit of a, obviously, because it's costing, a negative effect the share price. So that there, because they're big players, and we knew those releases coming out. That's why be careful of it. And they were a little bit negative, and that's what was the major push of the NAS coming off. Simple as that. Not the technicals. Big players make a large weighting of that 100 shares because they're very heavily weighted in favor of those trillion-dollar companies. There's the resultant. Okay, hope that makes sense. Right, so I want to discuss a share with you. I think I'm very negative the stock market, just I'm a bit bearish. This is going to go against that comment. I'm talking about a buy on this one, actually. I think NVDA is a possible buy. Whether you like it or not, you've got to have water and you've got to have oxygen to survive. You've got to have food to survive. Well, second to that, you've got to have chips to survive. I don't mean French fries and crisps. I mean, you know, the chips you have in your cell phone, your cars. And without them, you don't have them. So next to food, your cell phone and laptop is a necessity, right? So they produce them. So I think that could be, even though it's, where's the 200, by the way, on that subject? Down there. Okay, it's in a neutral zone, so it's not actually a sell zone. I think there's a possibility of some upside here. I think with a slew of stuff coming out today, probably have to look at a 330 opening, whether it's going to be worth it or not, depending on opening. Now, the company won't be sending out a trade on it because not everyone comes to the trading room and understands fully the pros and cons. They see this trade idea and then they jump, sort of thing, because there's a little bit more to it. They've got to wait to see how it opens. If it opens down, they better risk reward. They've got to recalculate it. If it opens above, they still jump in without recalculating. And so a bit nervous to do it. So if it's looking okay and you still get a risk reward, probably look at it tomorrow or Monday. But those guys in the know, like you come to trading room, have a look how it opens, do a risk reward, get your stop below these last lows here, take it up to this sort of level here. If you get a risk reward, I think you're going to get a bounce there, quite honestly. And if you're looking for a bounce, this is one of the stronger ones to take a bounce on. But that's my take on that lot. I agree with that, Prince. Good stuff. Okay.
And Tesla?
Tesla, I agree, but I'm not as confident as these guys, to be honest. The thing with Tesla, he stuffs itself up for himself at times. He makes certain comments, which in a position like that of influence, I'm not sure is always wise to make them. I might take you over a nice glass of whiskey, Farney. We're sitting outside in the stoop having a braai, but it's not something I broadcast to the world when everything I say, we hang on. You know what I mean? And he did say that the problem we're having is getting our cars, which are excellent, affordable for the mass production. Well, probably all knew that, but when the head honcho says that, it has a negative effect. So it's not a clever thing to say. Having said that, it's consolidated at the moment, but we'll see how the market runs. But I certainly won't be shorting it now. I'm looking for a more confirmed buy than the other one. So I'm more keeping an eye on NVDA than this one, but I'm looking upside on this one as well, but certainly not right at the moment. You know what I mean? Okay. That's my take on
I'm
that.
looking at that gap that needs to be filled.
Yep, I agree. Totally agree. Tesla all over. He's going to get there. He's going to get there. And even like Jobs died, they got other guys to take over. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get there. Tesla, I'll tell you, all of them, they're all going to get there. Unless some other brilliant company comes up with quantum mechanics or something. What do you call it? Quantum. What do you call that? I think the quantum. What's it, Pedro? Called the quantum one, where it's 10 times quicker and 10 times cheaper. Some breakthrough in that line, and that's a different story. And they'll become the next $1 trillion company. Until that occurs, these guys are still. We rely on them. You know, they're like food and water. We got to have them. So yeah, it will be filled, but it could come back to 200 and bounce. Would it come down to practically there last time? If we get a bit more momentum down, It could reach that for the bounce. Comes down there, unless there's a major recession hanging on, then the market momentum will follow on all of them. Then I think will bounce. But I do see potentially upside, but to me, it's a little less hazardous than NVDA as a potential upside. If I had two to choose, I would choose NVDA, but this one is definitely on my radar. When you have a gap, you see the gap there. We closed there and opened up the following day. Was that a Monday? This is what, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. No, it was a Friday. Eh? Okay, it was last Friday. Open from whatever fundamental news came in. Closed the previous day and opened up at this level here the following day. That created the gap opening. They usually go up to follow that gap. Where's it this side or this side? Commences around about there and often does fill in the top end of the gap as well. That is high probability, but it's not 100%. Nothing is 100%. We work on there a probability, and there's a probability that's likely to happen. When it's going to happen, don't preempt it. It could actually come back down to 200 again before going up, but that's something around about there and then there to aim at. Yeah. Good question. Why must it fill? I think it's a good question. Anyone know? I think it happens. I think it's a lot of psychologically. It's to be honest, I don't know scientifically, but it seems to be a psychological area where we get back to that. It's just an area of trading where it's psychological. I'm not going to try and wing it through and pretend I know and come up with nonsense. A lot of people do. I'm just saying that normally it happens, and that's good enough. But I'm pretty sure it's almost psychological, like the round figure back to 200. Why 200? Why not 199 or 201 or something? Psychological. Like a shop, it says it's 9.99 because it sounds better than saying 10. You know what I mean? So they say it's more psychological. It's like the bull and the bear. Nobody really knows why it's called that. Bev's got theories, but there's no actual hard fact why it's called that sort of thing. So if there is one, well, fair enough. But remember, in Google, it could be an opinion as well. But far as I know, it's been going for a long, long time. This quite an extra tool for the trading perspective. Fill it again, but I think it's more psychological. And if everyone's remember, perception is reality. If you're all seeing green as red, then it is red. It doesn't matter that it's green. It now becomes red. Perception is reality. Don't forget that.
Roger.
Yeah.
So I'd like to comment about the gap. Ne?
Okay,
so
please.
Especially when it's indices, let's say on Friday we closed with the rejection pin bar, ne? And then
Sorry. Which one? I want to go for it. Which one? Dow or the NAS? Which one to go to?
it's okay on Tesla.
Oh, on Tesla. You're happy. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I'm just assisting on the gap. Ne? Okay. So according to my knowledge, when we close, let's say with the rejection pin bar, and then on Monday when we open, there's a gap. It means like on weekends, the Nasdaq in the companies which were operating under Nasdaq, they were positive. So on Monday we have to buy if ever there was a gap, because the companies under Nasdaq were operating on Monday or on weekends.
I'm not sure it's a positive, but I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. What I'm saying is, normally when they have big announcements coming out, they prefer to do it after trading hours. Otherwise, astronomical volatility, so prefer to do it after. So that's why you get slippage. You're going long, it's bad news. It opens up lower. That's why you got that. There's nothing to do with pin bars or double tops or bearish engulfing candles or morning stars or Fibonacci. Nothing to do with it. Just the fact is, bad news came out, released after hours. That's why the next day it opened down. I don't think there's any more to it than that. It's just a psychological gap that feels almost like high pressure, low pressure. It needs to be filled, unless I'm missing a point somewhere. But I'm sorry, by the way, pin bar, I like that. I keep using the word wick. I might try and remember to change over. I like the word pin bar. It sounds better. Yeah, pin bar sounds better. Yeah. But that pin bar is for technical trading. What the buyers and sellers are doing. A fundamental override that. You know what I mean? I mean, you live in an area and it goes up and down. Your house price goes up and down normal way. It's a pretty good area, upgrading, but another shopping mall there, looking better. And then suddenly something goes wrong with the area, a whole invasion of locusts, or I don't know, whatever. That's got nothing to do with the technicals. That just means you suddenly overnight, you've got a lower value property. Okay. If I'm the right thing. Okay, we're good with that. That is one of the things I have to say to guys, more now than ever before. One needs to keep oneself informed, and that's easier said than done, because we get an enormous amount of, if not actual lies, half truths and exaggerations, where we can sometimes prioritize a small thing because it's been deflected from the more important, if you know what I'm saying. A lot of news does do that, because the more important stuff, they're not quite sure what the answer is, so deflect and make a big song of something less important, which they can handle. So it's not as easy said than done, but nevertheless, you need to know what's going on. I've mentioned it before, say it again. When I started trading, it was about 80% technicals, 20% fundies. Now it's plus minus 50-50. So you need to have that bit of background stuff. The technicals alone, in my opinion, and so far from what I've been doing, doesn't cut it on its own. As simple as that. I'm not going to suddenly sell the Swiss franc because technically it looks like a sell and the GBP looks like a buy. I will still wait for the trade to go higher and then sell it down and buy the Swiss franc, sell the GBP for fundamental reasons. I'm not acting on a fundamental release, but for fundamental reasons, if that makes sense. I hope I put it out sort of clearish enough. Not brilliantly put, but I hope you sort of got what I'm on about. No problem. Just remember, psychology is absolute. Perception is reality. If you think that's correct, I can talk to them blue in the face saying otherwise. You won't listen to me. Perception is reality. Just remember that. And that sometimes that reality might be a little bit confusing when you actually see it's green. Why does everyone think it's red? That can confuse you, but it's their perception. Even if they're wrong, it will be green because they that's the perception. We are emotional animals, and it must be understood that. And do not try and rationalize an emotional situation, because you won't be listened to. In fact, you probably antagonize them. I've seen many arguing boy-girl escalate simply because one side, it tries to rationalize the emotional other side. When that happens, that's where your skill of empathy comes in. Okay, which is not one of my best things, by the way. I think most of us are. That's why people, go to therapists and that therapist is paid good money to sit and listen to all your rather, quite frankly, subjective meanderings. Okay, right, trade ideas. I haven't got one. Let's start off now. I haven't got one. The AUD USD doesn't often happen, but in yesterday, out the same day. So we got hit the TP. I don't know the same day, maybe the middle of the night. Anyway, hit my TP. If you held on to it and you took that trade, the same would have happened to you. So that was a quick one. What a pleasure. The GBP USD is about 30 pips last I saw from the TP. You should all still be in it unless I've hit my TP. I certainly am. I'm modified my stop. I won't lose on that trade. Where is it now? Is it bounced? What is it? Has it bounced? Yes, had a bit of a bounce. It's easy to see on a shorter term. Excuse me a second. Go to 50 minutes. Yeah, it's had a bit of a bounce. I don't know. I'm still in. I can't remember my stop is. Am I still in this trade? Put it on the hour. See what else is going on. Yep, still in it. There's my stop. There's my entry. So, and it's still okay. Let it run. There's my TP. Good stuff. Okay, so there we are. So let it run. Modify your stop as I've done, and hope it hits the TP. The reason why I hit TP already is because it's a much wider TP. The AUD was a smaller TP. That's the reason why. So that was a good note. I mentioned Brent. I think the guys got there originally. Last I looked was sort of about breaking even, a bit of profit. The guys got in latterly. I advised them to get in at a better price because they missed the trade. It was down to 86, 87-ish. Take it. And I said, yeah, I'm expecting a bullish movement. They will be in a nice profit. The ones that went in the original Brent trade should be starting to see some profit now to guess what it was. I should have a look. Actually, I've got it written down here. Let's have a look. Where the hell is it now? 88.50. Yeah. So even the guys who went in the original signal will be in a profit. The guys who missed it and went in yesterday from the trading room. Yeah, a couple of people asked about it. WhatsApp me. I think Zama, is she on today? I think she asked about it. I said, yeah, get in the market. So she'll be smiling. So let's keep our fingers crossed that goes well as well. Okay, so not too bad. Okay, unfortunately, I have nothing for the moment. I'm nervous the yen, as explained, nervous the euro because of the interest rate decision, which has almost certainly been the same, but how we'll react to it is what I'm nervous of. And the Canadian looking pretty economically, apart from the oil, looking a bit shady. And the CHF, the one I want to buy, I can't find one get a decent entry, and the dollar, same story. The big move in the dollar yesterday, as expected. Remember, I didn't mention expecting the bounce. It occurred, and nice, and better than I expected actually. Means the ships are sell the ones I want to do. So as a result, I haven't got anything. The only one I can think possibility going forward, you can have a look at NVDA as a buyer in the shares. If not today, maybe tomorrow. I think there's a possibility there. And keep an eye on Tesla, as Farney says as well.
Roger, sorry,
no.
the
Sorry, Farney.
USD
Farney, one moment. Pietro, I wouldn't chase it now. No. Okay, sorry, carry on, Farney.
Sorry, my apologies. My trade got activated on USD JPY
Yeah.
on 150.01. So it's
Okay.
interesting that they haven't intervened as yet. What's your take on it?
Sorry, Farney. I do beg your pardon. I remember now. I wonder why you're asking. You came a little bit later. You missed it. That was the first thing I talked about at 9:30. What's happened is they did a slight intervention, which I missed. They did a slight intervention. I was just talking about it before you joined, saying that's a ridiculous waste of money. If you do a half cock intervention, they see it's a half cock, which shows there's not much faith in it. So it just jumped down by 80, 90 pips, which is not much for the intervention. And because it's half cock, the buyer screamed back in again. You know what I'm saying? So, hang on a minute there. As I said, I just thought of something. Maybe they're clever than I thought they were. Aha. Instead of paying something like $700-800 billion to buy the yen, maybe they spend as little as, excuse this, everything's relative, as little as about 100 billion to do it. That little knee-jerk reaction is just telling the guys out there, be careful of us. I've suddenly clicked what they're on about now. They're not trying to sort of depress it that much because they know that will happen. All they're doing, it just happened to me now, I'm frightened of the yen. That's what, instead of paying another 800 billion and see it climb up again, put in about 100 billion, say to the guys, we're watching it, you be careful. Okay? I think that's now I've just worked out their strategy. I should have thought of that. So the problem with that's been now is they let it go past, and then instead of spending another absolute fortune, remember they're battling the Japanese, so they're doing so they did that to just trying to depress the price a bit to make you frightened. So people now frightened of selling the yen above these sort of levels here, 151 area. That's the point behind that. I'm almost certain. That's off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. So it comes back to the same stage. It has the same effect. It makes you nervous to trade it. That's what they want you to do. When I say nervous to trade it, not want you nervous to trade to buy it, they're nervous to trade on the sell side. So clearly the sell is where you want to be at. You want to be selling the yen, but you're nervous. So it's knocking the sellers aside and only then encourage any buyers that might have the nerve to go for it. Do you understand? So in other words, we'll spend our speculative money to push the yen upwards without then spending any more money. I get the idea behind it. Very damn clever, hey? Yes, I get it. So, and I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to go along with it. I am nervous to trading that yen for that reason. Even the CHF JPY is pulled back a bit, but I'm scared. Make sense? You're in it. Don't know where your stop is. Mine was 150.80 and I got knocked out. I'm going to leave it alone this time.
Okay, no, thank you for that explanation. That time, sorry, I wasn't attending the trading room yesterday because I was traveling. But it's tying in with the fact that the CPI was 0.1% higher than expected. So I think they want to stabilize the yen as much as possible for that purposes. So it makes sense what you're saying. So I agree with you there, sir.
Yeah. And remember, because of their 250% debt to GDP ratio, they can't play around with the interest rates like the other countries can. So they've got to do other machinations. Yep. Remember, for exports, it's helpful. Their problem is oil. That's their major fly in the oil. That's their major bugbear, is the oil's costing them an absolute fortune because the oil's measured in dollars. Just a second, I've just got to reply to somebody here. Don't mind take moments. Okay, yep. So they're quite happy with that. They buy the yen with pleasure, mate, but sell it, be bloody aware. Okay, so that's why I leave it alone. Okay, I hope we're still clear on that. Right, no problem, Reno, got that. No, Piers, like I said, I'll be chasing Brent now. If it pulls back a bit, I want to be on the long side, but I like to buy it about $1 cheaper or something like that. I know it's at 88.50, the original signal, but let's have a look at Brent for the euro dollar. Actually, no, the euro dollar first. Let's do it properly. So let's do our that was ours first. Let's do it properly. Euro dollar, let's see. Aha. That's 15 minutes. Got quite excited there. Yeah, that's the problem. I want to go short. I quite agree with you. But two things. Number one, I think it's what time is it? 2 o'clock, I think it is. Sorry, just check again on my calendar. I think it's 2. So I'm gonna get all the stuff out of the way so we can see it. Your interest rate decision is where is it? So much stuff on here. 2:15. Yeah, excuse me, 2:15. Your interest rate decision, number one. Number two, it's a few buyers come to this level. So and it's it's pretty low down. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. A little bit of move back up. 1 hour. Not telling me much. 15 minutes, bit of indecision. Yeah, sell the euro, not right now. 14.15. Yeah, found it. Yeah, but I can find it immediately. It's just all that stuff I'm going to clear out of the way so I can see it. Okay, right. So where was I? Yeah, sell it. Yes. Do it now. No, not right now. Anyone been sales? Hey, Pietro will know what I mean by that. Do you want to buy it? Yes, but not right now. No, you don't want to buy it. Yes, or sell it in this case. Okay, yeah. Euro dollar, absolutely, but not right now. Okay, better price, in my opinion. Hope that's all clear. Good stuff. Do you agree? Never mind. Thank you, Roger, Marcus. I want to make sure you agree. Might disagree. Do you feel the same? Don't forget the fund is an important part as well. Will it be different? Doubt it. Might do, we don't know, but doubt it. It's the reaction and any Q&As that follow. That's where the anxiety comes in from a trader's perspective. But apart from that, I hope you understand. Don't buy the bloody thing. That's all I'm asking. So you agreed, Marcus. That's what I'm doing exactly. 4 hour. Some people trade over 4 hour. Might be able to trade it maybe up there, maybe closer there. Gets around about 105.73. I prefer to actually see we get near 1.06 before I look at a short. But again, we got to remember the dollar now. We talked about the euro. The dollar's coming up with 3 stuffs. The euro's coming out and the dollar's coming out in 3 areas. There's 4 areas in the 215 to 230 this afternoon around the damn corner. It's coming out affecting those 2 currency pairs. We're talking that one currency pair we're talking about on both sides of it. So that's another big reason to be rather prudent. But technically speaking, I'd like to set short around about 106 at this stage. Okay. And the PC, personal consumption expenditure, it's not always banded around. It's a 3-star as much as CPI, GDPs, PPIs, etc. But it is quite a big part of what the chairman of the Fed, as in Powell, looks at as a guard, because that's what the people are spending, expenditure, as an inflationary check. And that could have an effect. And that's coming out tomorrow. So just be very aware of it. You all got it, haven't you? Anyone not got the Europe? Please, if you haven't got it, put your hand up and say on the chat line you haven't got the economic calendar. I don't want to spend time printing the damn thing or copy and pasting for you if you've all got it. So if you haven't got it, just let me know and I'll copy and paste it. If you don't let me know, I'm not going to copy and paste. I'm trying to encourage people more to the point at the time is to putting their hand up and coming into interacting. You know, everyone got it, no one said it, no one said anything, and then 5 minutes later they haven't got it. Well, why didn't you put your hand up? If you're too scared to interact, you're going to be too scared to trade, because this is not for the sissies trading. Hey guys, trading is definitely not for sissies. Hey. And you're all Africans, so Africa's not for sissies, so you should be able to put your hand up. Okay. And including me, by the way, never mind my accent, I was born in North Africa, so don't leave me out of that. I'm still an African. Despite my bloody faggy accent, as the Americans call it. I think could well do that, but that's the sort of area I'm looking to short it. Yeah. Okay, Veronica. Yeah, thanks for joining. 9:11. It's very difficult to give advice things like that on the WhatsApp, simply because, as I say, I'm obviously in the trading room. But I did reply. I said that. But anyway, you joined us. That's fine. So if you have any questions you want some advice on, here's your chance. You can verbally do it, like Prince and a couple of guys like finally have done, or you can put it on. It's probably easier if it's involved question. Then instead of half an hour trying to type it out, you know what I'm saying? Just to verbally ask and see if I can answer. And if I can't, I'm sure one of the other guys can. We're here together, guys. We're a team. We're not in the army. We're generals and lieutenants and privates. We're a team. Not really, no. Before we look at it, I want to say Aussie had a very, very slight higher CPI, which slightly inflationary. What's his name again? What's his bloody name? Tiff McLean, not McLean, because your name McLean, remind me of it. Keep forgetting it's a strange name, Tiff McLean, whatever he is, McLean or something. He's the governor of the Bank of Australia, and he was saying it's slightly inflationary, and they're looking at that. So gave on this chit chat there a little bit of a sort of a positive movement. I'm not sure it's going to be sustained, to be honest. I think I'm more worried about what's happening in China affecting us than anything else. But anyway, Euro I'm nervous of anyway, as I mentioned a few times already. So you're going to look at the Euro AUD just around the corner. You've got an interest rate decision made. I'm looking at the wrong one there. Yes, I'm looking at the right one. No, I'm not sure I'd be buying the AUD, the Euro. I wouldn't be touching this actually. We'll see after if it comes back here and we get a bit of strength on the Euro. I'd probably look more rather to buy it than sell it. I look more for upside than downside, but I wouldn't do either at this stage of the game. The fundamentals could stuff the whole system up completely. But oh, sorry, that's exactly what you said, Edward. Sorry, mate. It's exactly what you said. I do beg your pardon. Yeah, I'd agree on that, but be careful now. Yeah, yeah, sorry. Just idiot. The guy, poor guy, just bloody said that. Idiot, Roger. Yeah, I agree with that, but whatever. Even if it was back down here, Edwin and company, I'd be a little bit nervous this stage of the game with a major funding coming out. That's why we have an economic calendar. So personally, either way, I would wait for the bounce there with a funding coming out, wait till that comes out the way, and we'll see what happens. If not much happens, it settles down, comes back and bounces. We've got ourselves a trade. Agreed, 100%. Good stuff. Good. So a bit faster, you guys, you'll get there. Stick at it. You won't be able to fly an aircraft after one lesson. Hey, Farney, you're a clever guy. Not going to make you an airline pilot after one lesson, are you? Especially after a bottle of bloody Glenfiddich.
Very, very true.
Okay, so that's what I take on that, Edwin. Otherwise, I agree. Okay. I'm trying to get in even the Euro CHF. I'm trying to get a bit higher. I want to get there. We can get, what's the CHF against the Aussie? GBP the euro, and the New Zealand. You can more or less do the same with the dollar as well. Get a decent entry. Those are the ones I'm looking at. Very nervous, the yen, the read I gave. And CHF dollar, don't be selling it, you want to be buying it. The slight change of plan on the couple. Canadian. We can bring two more into play. I'm looking at pullback to buy against the Canada, which I wouldn't have been talking about not so long ago. That's weakened a bit for fundamental reasons. Pull back there, I would be now considering buying that one and selling the CAD CHF. Those are two more you can keep on your radar there as a possibility of this one would be a sell because the Canadian now is not the great one. That was coincidence. Just as going over to that, Gerard jumps in. Great minds think alike. Yeah. This one's a sell as well. We're on a daily. Look what's happened at the moment. What's the first thing that tells you? Sideways, not enough meat on the bones for an entire week. You don't want to tie your money up. Not right now. But before, I wasn't touching because of similar strength. You know, you don't put a strong against a strong, or a strong against a weak. But this one, yeah, I'm looking for this. This is the CAD dollar, CAD Swiss franc. If we can get selling the Canadian, buying the other currency at a decent risk reward ratio, yeah, but not at the moment. And fools never differ, yeah. Actually, no less luminary than Stephen Fry. I don't know how many people have heard of him. Very a bit of an icon in the UK, very clever guy. And he once said, if ignorance is bliss, how come there's so many unhappy people in the world? That's a laugh. You like you JPY, don't you there, Mr. Prince? Well, this is one of the weakest currencies going. If you want to do anything with it, you want to buying whatever and selling the yen. If you want to sell the yen, sell the yen and buy the euro, you don't want to be going. You don't want to be selling it because the yen's so weak. If you want to buy it, you feel free because technically, yeah, I'm quite happy with buying it, but don't get upset if the bank just suddenly decide to jump in and push the down and push the buy the yen, which will push the euro down. Upon your head, technically, I'm quite happy to buy on that one, but I ain't going to do it for those reasons. And that's exactly what they want. That's what the government's trying to do. Make you frightened so you won't bloody weaken the yen further. That's the whole point. Look, what about the double top? I'm talking about fundamental fear, nothing to do with double tops. The yen is weak. Never mind what's on the chart. The yen is weak. The euro is not that great, but it's better than the yen. The yen is weak. It's having enormous problems, major debt problems, and extremely problematical with the high oil price, with their currency being low. It's like the rand goes to 25 to the dollar. We can have 30 rand petrol pumps, which is going to slow the whole economy down even further than it already is, because people can't afford to buy the goods that transport it because of the petrol price. Same principle. That's what it's about at the moment. Double tops are purely for trading days, technically, to watch what the buyers and sellers are doing. The fundamental kick in is what's affects them behind. You know what I mean? That's why I said along an NVDA, it's because they need the chips, they need the product. So that's why I could be more bullish on another one. That's why you get what's called defensive stocks like Walmart or ShopRite, because people still got to do the grocery shopping. The downside is it's much more stable, so therefore it's much slower. Those sort of things. They call it alpha stock. You get beta and alpha stock. Beta, which outperforms the benchmark. The benchmark's the index, and the alpha stocks underperform. So now, if it goes wrong, it's a smaller movement. If it goes right, it's a less profit. The beta, if it goes right, it's a bigger profit. If it goes wrong, it's a bigger loss because they're more bigger movers. Tech stocks are beta stocks. See, there you are. There we all are. Good. Have we look at exotic? Yeah, I've done all right. The dollar, and I just worry people are not listening or getting the point of the costs involved in small accounts. That's why we'll never send it out. I actually not sure I agree with that. I don't nasty or horrible, but if a buyer's bought a course and they haven't looked at it, it's not my fault. You know, why should we hold everyone else up because somebody else hadn't put enough money in and then bother to read the course, and then they get upset when it backfires? You know what I mean? Like, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. But I won't buy it now, but certainly don't be selling it, clearly. Selling as of the dollar, because it's the base currency of the dollar. I'm talking the base currency here. So I certainly wouldn't be buying the yen. If you go short on this one, you mean you're buying the rand, and I wouldn't be doing that. But I'm not sure I'll be chasing it now. It's not really getting momentum to the upside. But I've had 2 or 3 trades in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they've been pretty good. Buying the pullbacks, buy the pullback. However, again, please listen, guys. If you've only got a 2 or 3 grand in your account, I would leave it alone, simply because the costs are much more expensive being an exotic, and the margin is much higher. Never mind, you got 500 on account, the margin is much higher. It means you're taking what little money you got into the margin, which leaves you very little free margin, and you risk getting margin call before it hits the stop loss. Never mind you getting upset, it gives us hassles where we get inundated with calls saying you scammed, you're taking our money. Because said nobody, I had one person saying nobody told about margin call. Well, if you don't know that, you shouldn't be trading. You know, if you don't know what a gear stick is, what the hell are you driving the car for? But that's the bottom line. People are trading without actually knowing why, where, or what. And that's what those things they need to know. But that being as part, you got, I suggest 4 minimum, preferably 5 or more. You have traded before, so you've got some idea what's going on, basically. And you can't afford the higher margins and understand the costs are higher. The spread is wider. This is a good one to trade. That's why it's there. Otherwise, no good. Why we have it, but not at the moment. Try and don't try and sell it down, but it could be a bit of a pullback to 19. But don't get cute. Don't try and sell it down 19. If it gets back down to 90 for whatever reason, a bit of a blip in the fund is today, or a bit of profit taking the dollar, it might pull it back to 19. I think that's going to hold, bid it up. There's so much economic turmoil going on in South Africa. The SOEs going on strike for more money, which they don't have. In fact, like to keep their jobs. In the private sector, they would have kept their jobs, they might have more money. Because if you don't, you know, if you're not providing a profit in the company, you know what I mean? In the private sector, you obviously have to let people go. It doesn't happen if you're not having to make a profit. And these are all adding up and adding up and adding up. So buy the pullbacks, sell the ramp, but get a better price. And it can be quick as well, because it is volatile. Hope you're all clear. It's not so much about the rand at the moment. It can be, interest rate decision comes out, but they put it up slightly more than expected. That could suddenly strengthen the rand momentarily on a fundamental basis, but it's more or less about the other side of the currency. So the rand could strengthen a bit suddenly because the dollar weakens. Not a heck of a lot to do with the rand. I mean, I think we all know we need to go and depress ourselves even more. The incredible mess that unfortunately, to politics, that the reigning government has actually done with a first world infrastructure, unfortunately. It's made it absolute. I mean, you know, my 2-year-old could have done a better job. It's an indescribable mess. Not me talking. Ask anybody who knows what they're talking about. Anyone. Oh, it'd be a Faulty Towers comedy if it wasn't so tragic. And trouble, like always, doesn't really hurt me too much. It annoys me, but it hurts the people who've got less. And that's the issue. Okay, where are we? Yep. So keep an eye on it, guys. 19 looks like it, but please hearken my words. Yeah, know the pitfalls as well as the upside. Okay. And even if you got more than 5 grand, I wouldn't start off this your first trading experience. It is slightly different. Walk before you can run, as they say. Okay, Marcus, good stuff. No problem with you doing or Hera, I mean, you know, finally, whatever. Prince, Edwin, you know, Chris, whatever, Pietro, but newer guys, just learn a little bit more, pick up a few more, bit more experience before you get cute with that one. But I'm suggesting it's up to you, of course. Don't forget, everyone's free to interact. Don't feel you're left out. If you're quite happy not to interact, it's okay, but don't feel it's because you're being left out. Okay, right. Any pull back further on our pounds anywhere near to coming down again. I hope we can hit the TP today. GBP1. Let's look, better look on the 15-minute. Hovering a bit. Anyway, whatever happens, I'll make a profit on that. So I just let it run. Well, you sell it if you want, Prince. I sure as hell ain't going to. I'll buy the pullback, get to sell it down there. If you want, that's your choice. Okay, if you want to follow Prince, you do it. But my suggestion is you don't. Okay. NZDCHF. Look at a few of the CHF ones. You'll see what I mean. Can't find a decent entry. See. Maybe just a little bit higher. Where's that? 52.38. Where's it now? Maybe we can look at it again. It's only 20 pips, not like 100 pips away. Maybe 20 pips, a bit more. Maybe get a bit more of a bounce. We can look to sell it. Just a daily one. Just break up to around about these levels here. 52, 50, 45, I don't know, somewhere around about there. I think we can have another bash down. Keep an eye on that one. AUD, CHF, we can look at that as well. AUD, yeah, same principle. How far away is the 50? We'll do this one first. That's only 40 pips. Might get lucky, get there. If he gets there, definitely be selling it down. If he gets there and comes off, or even there comes off, maybe get a risk reward. Stop up there, TB down there. Should see we just get a bit higher up. Sorry, I don't know what this yellow is. Just take it out of the way for you. Confusing the issue. GBP we discussed. CAD we discussed. Euro CHF, I agree as well, but just wait for the fundy out the way. But Euro CHF, they still got problems over there. It's come out barefaced that again, Europe. It's sorry, but go woke, go broke. Same principle, and it's coming back and biting. You know, there's too many people who want from the government, and not too many people producing wealth to pay for it, and that's been the issue at the moment. So there's another one. It seems to be holding on this one here. In fact, to be honest, I probably would be looking at this as a sell right now if it wasn't for the 2:15 interest rate coming out. That is my little bit of a worry. If you feel you want to take that risk, technically speaking, that's a sell. That 10 is holding nicely, as you can see. And where can you put the stop? Up here somewhere. If you get a TP, maybe up there. Where you got to look for a TP down here. You'd have to look down there somewhere, to be honest, but that goes back to last year. That's my only other worry. Now, I think for that reason, I'll rather leave it. If we can get it around about here, then we're going to stop and get a TP. I don't want to look back a year ago for a target. You know, it's just too far away. So, yeah, pity, but I think just hope we get a bounce to sell it. Okay. But, yeah, anyway, that's just my opinion, but we'll go back to the dollar round. Prince thinks it's a good sell. Does anyone agree with that? Look at it if you like. Sell it down to here, maybe. Top up there. And think it's a sell down here. I'm hoping for a pullback, but definitely it's going to pull back. It's got to come off. So from that point of view, I hear you. But I'm going to be very, very nervous of selling it personally. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's worth taking the risk to move it down there and to a short on this one? What do you think, guys? There you are. It's up to you guys to interact. Come on, guys. Over to you. Take the floor. What do you think? Think should sell it back down to the moving average? Okay. Leave it alone. Okay. Leave it alone. Prince seems to be leave it alone. See the name of the game. This is that. Don't set exactly. And Mark's not saying leave it alone. He's actually giving the reason for it. Paul, yeah. So if you want to do it, that's Prince. Go for it, but it's not getting much moral support. Certainly not from myself. And fundies, yeah. 3 of them, in fact. Fundies plural. Absolutely. Not the PP, I don't think. It's the maybe the ZAR is. I don't know about that. Look at the ZAR. Oh, ZAR funded, beg your pardon. Oh, there you have it. I didn't know that. Oh, I missed the ZAR one. A bit down there. Thank you. Thank you very much. I missed that. haven't got anything on my calendar about the ZAR. It should be. I haven't filled it out, the ZAR. I've had it included. Well, I'll take your word for it. Okay. Whatever. The more reasons to stay away. No. Be upon your head there. Oh, 1 star. Thank you for answering that. Okay. It's only 1 star, guys, not because PPI is a 1 star thing. It's because economic calendars, they look at how it affects the world's markets. And I'm sorry, but the Rand does not. You know, it's like, the Mexican peso, or Indian ringgit, or Indian rupee doesn't really affect the world's markets. So that's why I get a 1 star. Affects you, affects South Africans, but not don't know about or care about it in Europe or America, unfortunately. Okay, all right, good enough. Brent, I'm sorry, Peter, don't leave it alone. Might be forgetting a pullback to enter. What's happening there? It's pulling back a bit. I admit it's below the signal, so I'm not against it. It's below the signal, 88.50, but it's still broke below, because we bought at the round, sorry, at the 50-day moving average for a buy upwards, but it seemed to have broken below, and it opened on the moving average, came down a bit. I think a lot of that is to do with uncertainty in Israel, although we know they're not producing nations, but they're bang next door to the big producing oil nations: Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi, as we all know, Dubai, etc. So on that basis, I am long on it. But I think, Pietro, even though the signal say 850, yes, you can go in now. If you want to go in now, Pietro, yes, you can. Because I hate to say wait for a better price at 87 something, and he doesn't get there and gets up to 90, you're not on board. So I'm going to chuck it back near court there. Not bad to get in now. You're going to have to make the choice. So try and get a better price or go in now. If you want to go in now, here's another suggestion. Maybe half now at a buy limit, a little bit lower down. Maybe, I don't know. What could we put it down? A little bit lower down. Maybe 80. Maybe will it come back this far? Maybe 87.50. Maybe half now, 87.50, or the lot now. I'm just giving you the choice. Unfortunately, I'm chucking your broad, responsible shoulders to make that choice. But I'm just giving the information to make it. There you are. Decision time is yours. Is he still here? I think he's still here. Has he left after all that? Oh, he's still there. Good. So there you are, Pietro. Good. Okay, you are there. Did you get all that? What I was just saying, or were you busy? Okay, I'll repeat again. I think you might have been busy. Look at something else. I'm saying the signal said 88.50, because I can hardly say it's too high now because it's below that. So I'm saying my little bit of worry is it has opened on a technical basis this morning at the 50 and come down a bit. So this is a scenario to look at. You can go in half now and then a buy limit at 87.50, beg your pardon, the buy limit there. Using the same stop loss of the signal, the same TP of the signal, you can do the calculations thereof, or you can go the lot in now, or you can risk getting a better price on the entire position. Those are 3 scenarios. I'm chucking it on your broad shoulders. You make that choice. Okay. It's quite important. That have you got that? It's not, please be honest, because it's important. I'm on the same page. Full now, nothing at all, wait for the lot and going better, or half now and half better, so at least you're on board if it does move back up again. We'll look at the 4 hour, might look a bit more helpful for you. See, the 4 hour, the sell did come in a bit. It's a bit indecisive, you can see. And it's a lot of fundamentally driven this, not technicals, remember. And it has on the hourly bit range trading at the moment. So do you want to go in the lot now, half now, or maybe get the lot in a little bit better, which you might not reach? And then it does shoot up, you're not on board. I'm leaning towards half now, towards all now, to be honest, just in case. Number 1, half now. Right, got it. Right, Pietro. Half now, buy limit, the other half, 87.50. Second, all now. Third, the lot at 87.50. Okay, those are my 3 scenarios in that order of importance, of priority. Hope you've got that, Pietro. Yeah, because I soon forget people in the country, other things crop up and have the call to take or whatever. And then suddenly it comes up that they're particularly involved and happen to be on the line or doing something, they miss it. Okay. That's totally understandable. Okay, thanks, Gerard. As always, you're pointing a couple of things out as well as your contribution. Thank you.
And your take on gold?
Aha. Aha. Had that down. Thought about that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Remember when 1880 the cell came out, I thought that it could start exhausting here. And after sending out, I feel a bit bad about it. I'm getting very nervous. I got out of mine at about 77, 70, 1877, 78. Was it what I'm talking about? 19, what the hell am I talking about there? 1977, 1970. A bit below that, I got nervous. I bet a couple around, but not much. It was a blue, not much red. I advise everyone to do just the same. And it looks like that bit of advice did pay out. Right. What's happened with gold now? A little bit, to be fair, Prince and Company is a bit technical. People work on that's what they do. There's a lot of that involved, but there's a hell of a lot of fear factor area, which very much is happening over in the Gaza Strip. I can virtually tell you now, the Israelis aren't going to back off. They'll offer a little bit of a truce, maybe, to say get some of your civilians out of the way. But Hamas not going to do that. They use the civilians as cover, so I doubt they're going to allow that to happen. But that's their excuse. And they say, you don't get out of the way, it's not our fault, it's yours. We're going to keep on bombing and get an invasion going. They won't back off on this. So, and if they're worried about the others, the Syrians might get involved, the Saudis, we know Iran's backed it, or whatever they say. The Gaza don't have money. They don't have money there. So it's all real have a nice army. It's got to be paid for. It all comes down to money, and they have the money. It's backed by the Iranians. So we know that. But Iraq now might get involved. Saudi might get. Well, I don't think Saudi will. Almost certainly not. But they might. So that is the balls in there worried about it, and that fear factor means countries, etc., and high net worth institutions are buying up bullion. You can buy Krugerrands. You can't buy bullion. Not allowed to. But the institutions can. Like the Fort Knox has gold there, same principle. So all that is going into the fact that gold at the moment, be very careful of it as a trade. It has been knocked around completely outside your hands. As you see, the fear started up. If it gets to 2000, I thought it would hold and come off again. It didn't. It went up last time just above it, I think, if I remember rightly. And then it came off. I would suggest leave gold alone. There's too many variables involved that is purely unadulterated. You got lucky or you didn't to trade at the moment. And remember, the indicators, as in the 10-year note, the yields, the US 10-year Treasury note yields are very high. The dollar is very strong. These are major negatives on gold. So any area of any ceasefire or understanding, which hadn't happened for 1,000 years, and it was suddenly start now, would incur a plummet in gold, because gold is purely up on that level for the fear factor reason I just mentioned. Just bear that in mind. It's no good looking at the technicals and the dollar index and the DXY. That's not going to help you matter a cause at all. All it's telling you that it's being propped up by fear. Simple as that. But leave that alone, unless you're lucky oak. Pays your money and takes your chances. Hope that answers your question. You agree with that? You happy with that answer, or anything else you want on that, Fani and Company?
No, I'm happy with that. Thanks.
Okay, good enough. You guys all happy with that? Good. If not, just interact. We can have a look again. Good. As you see, we're trying to make it a functional democracy here, where we do discuss without getting our egos in the way. That's the problem with us males, eh, ladies? Our egos sometimes get in the way with us males, eh? Okay. That's about all I've got for the moment. Discuss. Anything over to you? You all know my number. If I haven't got my number, not if you're here on a demo account, please. Sorry, guys, guy on the chat line, I say, why couldn't we assist him on advice and demo account? Not us, no broker in the world will spend its time, money, and effort advising you on a strategy on a demo. The demo is there to play around with and learn the operating the platform and try a new strategy. So if you don't have a number and you've got funds, 2.5 grand or more, that's 2,500 rand or more equivalent in dollars, please, I'll put my number on there. I haven't got it, and I'll upgrade to my VIP group. If you've got a demo account and a few hundred rand, number one, you won't get signals. Number two, I can't help you. I can offer you no value on the price of a meal out with a glass of wine. It's just not. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You're wasting your time. You're undercapitalized. You know, just give yourself a chance. You need to diversify. You need bucks to do that. If you don't have it, you can't diversify. You've got to overexpose. Your chance and it's a zero-sum game. Remember that, guys. Every winner's a loser, and who's likely to win? The guy who's got the tools. So if you haven't got my number, let me know and I'll post it for you, and then we can be in contact. Remember, I'm licensed to advise. I'm regulated. If you want trading advice, no good going to, I think, call it a service agent now. They changed over from service agent from account manager to service agent. Too many people getting confused. No problem, Marcus. Good stuff. Have you back tomorrow. Bit of luck. Okay. We all do. It's natural. We blame ourselves. We don't. It's not even the money sometimes. It's the feel of failure. It's horrendous knock on the psyche. I agree. Okay, yeah. Anyway, going back, it's not account manager, it's now called a service agent. I like that. I agree with it entirely. The problem with the name account manager thinks you're there qualified to run accounts. They start asking these guys for trading advice. They can't give it. They're not qualified to give trading advice. They're intermediaries. They can do everything else, but can't give trading advice. Just bear that in mind. So if you want trading advice or anything like that, you need to come to somebody who's regulated to give it. In this case, it's myself. Okay. I'm sorry if you don't like me. Tough. But you've got my choice in the matter. Hope you do. But if you go to those guys, they'll help you open accounts and help in all other ways and point in the right directions. But and they can copy and paste the trade ID and send it on, no problem. But they can't say, yeah, you should be buying the CAD CHF. Even though they might be good, it might be good traders, as far as I know. You might be an excellent driver, but you haven't got your driving license. You're not legal out on the road. Simple as that. I'm not negating them, far from it. Just saying they're not legally allowed to. So trading queries and advice, then you do come through me. Yeah. So that's why we're calling out service agents, because it gives a false perception. We call them account managers. Okay. Oh, thank you, Marcus. Thank you. I'd rather one of you lovely ladies said that. Dream on. My sister's just down here from Joburg for a visit, and I'm thought she just brought me down there. Said Roger, dream on. Okay, guys. Just a few more minutes left. Any questions? Any newer guys? A little bit confused on something, not something that's going to take a year to explain clearly, but just a little bit of clarification. Haven't got a DXY and I forgot to ask. I'll copy and paste it for you, or the economic calendar. Or yes, I got 2.5 grand, and I don't know what your number is or whatever. I'll post it for you on the group as we speak. If you don't hear for anything else, we'll wrap it up just now and catch you all tomorrow, because I've run out of steam on it. I've said what I need to be said. It's just up to you if anything else you want clarifying. Thank you, Mynheer Joubert. Aha.
Roger,
Go on.
whenever you check the possible trades, are you still keeping in mind our what do you call it, that Joubert trades?
Oh, good gracious, forgot all about that. Yeah, the Etienne Joubert momentum 1 hour trades. Yeah, I forgot all
EJ,
about
that's
that.
correct. EJ.
That's right. Yeah, I've forgotten all about that. I'll be honest, I forgot all about that. It sort of sailed under the radar, to be honest. It's gone off the front page onto the back page kind of scenario. I've forgotten all about that. If you're in mind, we can look at 1 or 2 tomorrow, see we got, because momentum does cut in. Sometimes, you know, the fundamentals, all that, and against it, it goes on and on, because a very, very large amount of people don't even look at the fundies. They're purely on technicals, and by sheer amounts of momentum, sometimes pushing that area, even though fundamentally it might not. So it's worth having a reminder. Can you remind me to look again tomorrow and see if we can find a few of those again? And I can spend a bit of time explaining. It won't take long. Thanks for a reminder, Finder. You're a God's gift to the trading room. I very, or at least to me. I appreciate that. Just remind you if you're coming in tomorrow, just a quick reminder on that. Okay,
Will
JPM.
do.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, good stuff. Might see you tomorrow. Right, Edwin. Yeah, funny enough you say that because actually we discussed in the morning our 8 o'clock private meeting. Look at DIS, by the way. DIS is 85 something or other, if I remember rightly. Remember, shares sometimes take longer. Okay, this one we've been in for quite a while. What's this? Is this a daily? Yeah, we've been in since up here somewhere. No, it won't be that high. Where did we get in? Can't remember anyway. But anyway, we've been a while this one. It's now about $5 a share in profits. That's trundling along, bit under the radar. Then was still in it, but it's doing quite well. Yep. Anyway, going back to Edwin. Yes, we did discuss JP Morgan earlier on. Just kind it up on the screen here for you. This is what we came up with. Thanks, by coincidence. We did discuss it. Good idea. I want to short this, but I want to short this near the 200-day moving average. We discussed that and in our own war room. And we got consensus between us that, yes, we want to short it, not buy it, short it up there. We don't want to buy it up there. We want to see if we get a rally up there to short it. And basically, we won't be sending it out today. Well, certainly not before 2:30 because the 3 major fundamentals coming out, which could affect on opening. Having said that, Edwin, with all due respect to you, no pressure, you strike with a fairly experienced trader, which seems you've got some idea what you're doing, basically. If you can see the fund is out the way and it gets a bit of a jump and comes off and it's near that area there and you're still comfortable with it, as long as you get a decent risk reward, you could probably do it today. But I doubt very much we'll be sending it out as a trade idea much before tomorrow. But is it possibly today, bearing in mind what I've just said? But well spotted. Yeah, we find by coincidence we were looking at ourselves this morning. But we bore in mind, we took more about sending out to everybody, and we agreed probably more prudent to wait for tomorrow to send out on even Friday. Sorry, tomorrow is Friday. Sorry, Friday or Monday. But for more those who could know a bit more on it, can look how it opens, do a risk reward. Remember, if we say sell it now, we can work on the figure 140.41. We can't work on the other figure. We don't know what the opening is. A lot of guys out there won't understand that and confuse them and create more problems it solves. But guys who know the score, look what happened to fund is, look what it's like on opening. Give it a few months to settle down. Remember, I talked about crossing and uncrossing of spot prices of institutions getting in and out on opening because they couldn't do it beforehand on auction time. Wait for that to settle down. Give it a few minutes or so. And then if you see the bounce and you get a decent price near the 200, maybe 140, 150, 142 mark, and it starts coming off, and the NAS comes off a bit, and the Dow comes off a bit, the overall trend's still there. You can get a decent entry, stop above. You're clever enough to work out where your stop is, get the calculator out, and take a trade. But otherwise, wait for tomorrow, and I'll sort of do a bit of hand holding on that if the situation occurs that warrants it. Hope that all makes sense.
Roger, lastly from my side, Microsoft for a buy.
Okay. You would ask an awkward question. Bloody hell. Awkward means a good one, by the way. I tell you, I'm nervous. Even though it might be good with good figures coming out, it's still very popular because Apple's expensive, remember? And I've never used Apple in my life. Me, Apple's something you eat. Yeah. There's still fundies coming out. Well, that'll be before it opens. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's pretend the market's open, so I know what I'm talking about. Hypothetically speaking, the market's open right now. Could we get a buy here? It seemed to come back. If it bounced off here, assume the market's open, I probably would. If I can get a stop loss down here somewhere and make it worth my while, that's going to be a $10, call it a $10 stop. Take it up to there. You can maybe get a slightly less than 2-to-1. You probably could do it. Okay. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. They might get some more momentum. A lot of that pin bar, I like that word pin bar. A lot of that pin bar is, in my opinion, profit taking. It might get a better price, but yeah, it's looking actually pretty good. I think best thing I can say that keep my cover my backside is see what it's like on opening and determine from there. And at least the fundamental releases will be out the way at that speed, at that time rather. So yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, but I want a bit more confirmation before I get involved. If it was open at the moment. However, it's not going to upper three, so I'd have a good look at it then. But yeah, it's not looking too bad with those proviso in mind. Okay. All good? Happy with that, Farney? Or was it too wishy-washy for you?
No, it's fine. I want to make sure because I got my fingers burned on, I think, 4 out of 5 of Microsoft trades. I'm just getting in normally too late. So I was just wondering if I want to try and chase it now or what. So I'd like your opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember that clearly. Every time we touched Microsoft, we went the opposite way. I remember it clearly. Yeah, we'll see on opening. There's quite a few other factors other than Microsoft's good news. Remember, it's not the lone big boy. There's Amazon, there's Meta, there's Google, the Alphabet, there's Apple, there's Netflix, there's NVDA is getting up in that line as well. There's other big boys coming in. So yeah, okay. Anyway, I'll answer that. Thanks for that. Okay, thanks very much. And Tom B. Now on that, it is 11 o'clock. I think we're all good. Thanks for the accolade. Fully appreciated. Don't be stingy with your accolades, guys. Fully appreciated. And thank you, Zama. Hey, did you get that oil trade? Hope you did. The Brent one, it should be doing fine at the moment. Okay, guys, catch you tomorrow.